Mr. Martin, I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward with your case. I'm ordering you now as a condition of your bond to keep it in your pants while you're outside. Do you understand?
Of this year, Kansas versus Chad Cooper. Please announce appearances.
May it please the court, this state appears by Jill Gillette, County Attorney.
May it please the court, Your Honor, Mr. Cooper appears in person via Zoom with counsel Chase L. Miller, also via Zoom.
And Mr. Miller, your client does still wish a suppression hearing. Is that correct?
That's correct, Your Honor.
Okay. And I see that the motion to suppress
I've not seen this. I hear it gets weird.
was filed August 27 of this year, 24, and Ms. Gillette filed a response September 19th. So Ms. Gillette, do you want to file or call your first witness?
Your Honor, we'll be calling Deputy Blake Fisher as our first witness.
Please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
All right, thank you. You may have to increase your volume a little bit. I'm not sure if it'll work itself out or if we need to increase it. All right, go ahead with your first. Well, give me just a moment. Give me one more moment.
Yeah, that barbecue.
All right, we will resume. Miss Deputy Fisher, just take an oath, and Miss Gillette, I believe you're ready to begin your questions.
Okay. And I've also admitted my laptop to the meeting so that we can show part of the body camera.
All right. So you can begin your questions anytime you are.
Oh, we get video.
Did you state your name for the record?
Deputy Blake Fisher
How are you employed?
by the Greenwood County Sheriff's Office
How long have you been so employed?
since December of 2019.
And did you work in corrections for the Greenwood County Sheriff before you becoming a deputy?
I did.
And do you work for any other agencies besides Greenwood County?
The Butler County Sheriff's Office.
And were you on duty on Friday, December 22nd, 2023?
I was.
And where were you at when you came across the defendant?
I was at a local gas station in Eureka, Kansas by the name of Pumpin' Pete's. It's located at 205 West River Street in Eureka.
Did you, were you
What was that, sir? Pumping Pete's?
in the middle of conducting a DUI investigation?
I was.
What happened while you were conducting the DUI?
What could go wrong with the DUI investigation at Pumping Pete's, you ask? Oh, you'll find out.
Investigation that drew your attention to the defendant?
The defendant had walked up on scene to my traffic stop as I was conducting the DUI investigation. He walked up behind me, had his phone out like he was recording me, and then walked over to a pole that is attached to the building of Pumpin' Pete's and started to make verbalizations of what should and shouldn't be done, asking questions, interrupting my investigation, directing my attention away from the investigation onto him.
Okay. And how close did he get to you when he walked past you?
I could have touched him probably 2-3 feet away from me.
Did he look like this?
And
Just asking.
is there issues for officer safety?
Yes.
And what gave you concerns for officer safety?
Prior to the defendant showing up on scene of my stop, another defendant in this case had been on the phone, and she had been making calls to people. I had numerous other people show up on scene of the traffic stop, trucks, individuals walking up. I had to call for assistance from another deputy because of her irate behavior. So just to kind of calm everything down, I asked for the other deputy to show up. With all that people there, plus it being a business, it's too much for just me to handle.
Okay. And when you're conducting a DUI investigation, what do you have to do as the officer conducting the investigation?
I have to pay attention to the one that's under the investigation, as we're running numerous testing on the subjects.
Okay. And while you were trying to do the testing, was this what kind of statements was he actually making?
Can I refer to my report to refresh my memory?
Do you have a report that you made at the same time, similar time frame as to when you conducted this investigation?
Correct. I'd be referring to the affidavit.
And did you make that report to help refresh your recollection?
I did.
Your Honor, may he refer to his report to refresh his recollection?
He can.
As Cooper arrived on scene, he was asking if the one that was under investigation for the DUI had blown over the legal limit or not.
And was he trying to yell at you while you were conducting the tests?
He was.
And was this causing problems with you being able to conduct the investigation?
It was. I had him and the other defendant in this case, they were both talking at the same time. It was hard for me to comprehend what was going on all at once with the actual suspect, because I had to pay attention to not only Cooper, but the other suspect and the one that was under investigation.
And while this was going on, are you under a time limit as far as testing is concerned?
Yes, when it comes to a breath test, yes.
So does having to stop to deal with this defendant interfere with the time frames allotted in a DUI investigation?
It does. It can.
Okay. In this case, how did it impair you having to deal with the time frames with your that you're going through with the DUI?
Well, I mean, it took us longer to get to the jail to start the process on the Ntox machine. And the suspect in the DUI ultimately refused that test. So I had to apply for a search warrant for blood on that. So it just took longer than it should have, because I had to deal with the two other defendants in the case.
Okay. And did you have a body cam on that night?
I did.
And is it a true and accurate depiction of the interactions with this defendant?
To my knowledge.
And were there any corrections, additions, or modifications made to the video before you turned it over to the state?
Not to my knowledge.
Your Honor, we're going to move to admit the body camera of Deputy Fisher into evidence as to the situation with the stop. I have asked for my laptop to be admitted. I'd ask it be admitted now, and then we will share and play the video.
Mr. Miller, any objection?
Your Honor, respectfully, whether it applies or not, we would object on grounds of relevance for any depiction that extends beyond the scope of the motion to suppress, which is defendant's arrest at the scene of the incident.
So what is,
Any objection? All objections.
Show the stop. We're going to go forward to about the time that the defendant arrives on scene through him, his interactions during the time frame and what all's going on at the scene during the time up to the point where the decision is made to arrest him. So specifically the behavior that led to him being arrested.
all right, then objection is overruled and I will allow it.
If I may, Your Honor,
Okay,
could we have the timestamps when the body cam is presented read into the record, just so we're sure on the time frame that's being attended?
most definitely. Ms. Gillette, do you have those?
We do, Your Honor. We're going to be starting close to about the timestamp is going to be, there's several videos on the copy of the DVD. It's video number 1. It's the very first video for the timestamp. Most of the others are interactions at the jail and lots of other stuff afterward. So it's going to be the first video at 17 minutes. Well, I want to start, I think, at about 15 minutes in to the video. Sorry, we're going to start at 4. Hang on a second. I was trying to find the exact location.
If I may, Your Honor, we'd have no objection to just when the video is presented if the beginning and ending timestamp on the screen at that time was read into the record.
Okay,
We're going to start at about 7 minutes, 9 seconds, and then we're going to move forward from 7 minutes, 9 seconds to the point that the defendant is arrested.
and Mr. Miller, you've seen this video, so,
That's correct, Your Honor.
all right. Please proceed with Exhibit 1. That will be Plaintiff's Exhibit 1, Video 1.
All right, I told you I've not seen this, but I am dying to know what could possibly go wrong with an audit of a DUI investigation at Pumping Pete's.
And that is the correct date, 12/23. I thought he said 12/22. The charge says 12/22.
You look in the bottom left-hand corner, it says 12/22/23.
Which one? Because what I'm looking at the top says 12/23, and you said there's something at the bottom?
Bottom left. It says
Oh, okay, I see it. Okay.
I think you do. I wasn't prepared. I don't have anything, but I would definitely recommend cocktails for this.
Proceed whenever you're ready.
Okay. What time did you take it?
Are we talking about volume up any?
Give me a second. I'm trying to when I got home. 7. Huh? About 7. 7 o'clock tonight? Yeah. Okay. Give me just a sec. I gotta go get it.
I am not, is that as loud as that will go?
That's as loud as it goes.
I don't know if I'm gonna be able to hear that. Let me see if I've got what I need turned up.
Okay. So I'm gonna be testing your eyes. I'm gonna run you through some standardized field sobriety testing.
Are the rest of you hearing that okay? Mr. Fuller, do you hear it okay?
Is there any other medical problems I need to know about? Cancer. You have cancer currently. Remission. You're in remission. What kind of cancer?
All right, we're gonna have to pause that for a minute, Miss Gillette.
Hold on. Wait.
Give me just a moment.
I can hear it on the phone playing through.
I'm gonna be testing your eyes. I'm gonna run you through some testing, standardized field sobriety testing. Okay. I'm gonna be testing your eyes. Is there any other medical problems I need to know about? Cancer. You have cancer currently. Remission. You're in remission. What kind of cancer? Testicular. Okay. Hold on. I'm gonna wait for the semi to pass.
You understand why I was the way I was. I'm not trying to be mean to you, but the job entitled something.
What do you mean?
Because the job, like being what you are, entitled something.
What do you mean it entitles something?
For what's going on now, friendship doesn't matter, so it entitles something
Right.
at some point.
If this was anybody, I'd be doing the same thing,
No,
even if it was my
I
mother.
live with one just like you.
Right.
I'm not putting it against you. I'm just like,
We'll get through it. Let's just get through these tests and then we'll see what happens, okay? But you're in cancer remission for testicular cancer.
I have AIDS for 17 years.
You have AIDS. HIV. It's not full-blown AIDS, is it?
You're going to put that point. It is full-blown AIDS.
It's full-blown AIDS.
I'm just unprotected stage.
I don't care that I just need to know for this.
No, I
Do
understand.
you have anything else?
Maybe hepatitis A at the point?
Hepatitis what?
A.
A?
Eating contaminated foods.
Okay. But that's it. Okay. So no bone problems, no knee problems, back problems, nothing like that.
I have a knee problem, but I mean, I don't know if that really has much to do with what's going on.
Okay. Alright. Can you take your hood off? I know it's cold, but I'm out here with you. Alright, Matt. Like I said, I'm going to be testing your eyes, okay? I need you to stand with your legs together, heels, toes touching, arms down at your side. I need them out of your pockets, arms down at your side, okay? Don't move from this position until I instruct you otherwise. Do you understand that?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you see the tip of my pin?
Are you serious?
Yeah.
I need you to follow it with your eyes only. Do not move your head. Do you understand that?
Yeah.
Blow Facebook up with this crap.
Okay. Blink if you need to. You see the tip of my pin?
Yep.
I need you to follow it with your eyes only. Do not move your head. Do you understand that?
Yep.
Like, how many more times do you have to do that shit?
Alright. One new job.
Excuse me?
One new job.
Blink if you need to.
He's not doing it.
Okay,
Hands out of your pocket.
Sorry,
it seems pretty reasonable so far.
I'm pissed.
I want to see the audit part.
We, we're in here. He did nothing wrong. There's no probable cause for the stop. I already know what's going on, so I'm not stupid. We're criminal defense attorney, so we're gonna go there. I'm watching.
Thank you. Okay, hands out your pockets. You gotta keep.
I'm trying to warm up. You gotta give me a second. My medicine. You gotta give me a second. Let me warm my hands so I start shivering everywhere.
Okay.
I mean, I do have medical issues. I have to have some point.
What's your name?
You gotta give me a minute to get warm. I'm following the pin. I'm not doing anything you told me to do.
Well, the quicker we get this done, we'll move on. So keep your hands out in your pockets. Okay. See the tip of my pen. Follow it with your eyes only. Do not move your head. You understand that?
Yeah, I live right there in that.
Okay, blink if you need to. All right, come back over here. See this yellow line, Matt? I need you to I need you to stand right there and face my patrol car, okay?
Oh,
I need you to put your left foot on the line with your right foot in front of your left foot and keep your arms down. Hey, Jeremiah, can you take that over there so I can explain this to him?
it might have been.
I'll explain. I need you to put your left foot on the line, right foot in front of your left foot, heels, toes touching. Go ahead and do that. Okay, put your arms down at your side. Do not move from this position until I instruct you otherwise. You understand that? Okay. When I instruct you to do so, you're going to take 9 heel-to-toe steps down the line like so. 1, 2, 3, but you're going to continue until you get to 9. Once you've reached your 9th step, you're going to leave your lead foot on the line, taking a series of small steps, turning yourself facing, It doesn't matter. Take a series of... Okay, you're going to leave your lead foot on the line, and you're going to take a series of small steps, turning yourself facing back down the line. Okay, so I turned towards the left.
I turn on the wrong foot. You don't find it the same whether it's my lead foot or not.
So you're going to... Okay, so you're going to count to 9. Once your front foot has reached its 9th step...
So this one, since my foot's already in front of the other, or is it...
No, it'll be 1, 2, 3, and you're going to go till you get to 9. Once you've reached your 9th step, that lead foot, that last step, your 9th step, you're going to leave that on the line, and you're going to take a series of small steps, turning yourself facing back down the line. Once you're facing back down the line, so you're going to come down here,
Left or right?
turning, it doesn't matter, whichever way you want to turn.
Whichever way.
Yep. Once you're facing back down the line, you're going to take another 9 heel-to-toe steps back down the line like so.
Delta, you're freezing cold.
1, 2, 3, but you're going to continue until you get to 9. As a reminder, you're going to watch your steps. You're going to count out loud.
If you're freezing cold, does it bother you at this point?
I don't know. If the more you interrupt me, the more longer it's going to take, the more cold you're going to get. So, as a reminder, you're going to watch your steps. You're going to go out with your eyes only. Do not. So, I turned towards the left.
You gotta understand where I'm moving. I turn on the wrong foot. You don't find it the same whether it's my lead foot or not.
So you're going to...
Ambiguous statement.
Okay, so you're going to count to 9. Once your front foot has reached its 9th step...
So this one, since my foot's already in front of the other, or is it...
No, it'll be 1, 2, 3, and you're going to go till you get to 9. Once you've reached your 9th step, that lead foot, that last step, your 9th step, you're going to leave that on the line, and you're going to take a series of small steps, turning yourself facing back down the line. Once you're facing back down the line, so you're going to come down here,
Left or right?
turning, it doesn't matter, whichever way you want to turn.
Whichever way.
Yep. Once you're facing back down the line, you're going to take another 9 heel-to-toe steps back down the line like so.
Delta, you're freezing cold.
1, 2, 3, but you're going to continue until you get to 9. As a reminder, you're going to watch your steps. You're going to count out loud.
If you're freezing cold, does it bother you at this point?
I don't know. If the more you interrupt me, the more longer it's going to take, the more cold you're going to get. So, as a reminder, you're going to watch your steps. You're going to count out loud. You're going to keep your arms down at your side. And you're going to continue walking until the test is completed. Don't start yet. Don't start. I didn't tell you to start. Okay. All right. I need to go over anything else with you?
No.
All right. You may begin when you're ready.
I've often asked the question.
You may begin when you're ready.
Can we go back?
Yep.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
All right. ma'am. Stand right here for me. Last test, okay? Need you to stand, look at me. Need you to put your heels or your feet together, legs together, heels, toes touching, arms down at your side like the last one, okay? Okay, put your arms down at your side. Do not move from this position until I instruct you otherwise. Do you understand that? Okay. When I instruct you to do so, you're going to lift one foot of your choice. It doesn't matter if it's your left or your right, okay? Whichever foot you decide to pick up, I need you to keep your foot parallel to the ground, approximately 6 inches from the ground, and I need you to count in a fashion of 1001, 1002, 1003, and I need you to continue counting until I instruct you to stop, okay? As a reminder, you're going to watch your foot, count out loud, keep your arms down at your side. You're going to keep one leg off the ground with your foot parallel to the ground, approximately 6 inches from the ground, and both legs as straight as possible, okay? Do you understand all that? Okay.
I'm going to pause here at 16 minutes, 5 seconds. Deputy, there's a truck in the background. Can you tell us what that truck is there doing?
That truck was there, and the other defendant, Miss Kirkpatrick, was speaking with the driver.
Okay. And was it someone that was there initially or someone that she had also communicated with?
I don't know if she communicated with them or not, but they showed up.
Okay. Did they ever get out or interfere in any way?
Not to my knowledge, no.
Okay. We'll proceed with the video.
Now, so far, the video is not showing the defendant. He's showing the DUI subject. Is that correct?
Right, but it's also showing all the other stuff that has gone on at the scene during as to why all these people keep showing up to the scene while the DUI is trying to go on, and that it was becoming more and more increasingly dangerous.
Okay.
Kirkpatrick, Judge, was previously on the phone, making phone calls prior to these people showing up, if that wasn't mentioned.
Okay.
Okay, you may begin when you're ready. Oh, well, nope. Let me get this started. Hold on just a second. Get ready. Get ready. Begin. Okay, you can stop. Is there insurance on the vehicle?
Yes.
Okay, can I see that?
Meanwhile, the guy's doing okay on the field sobriety test, which surprises me. That's the last thing I expected.
Go look at the picture of this moment. Hold on.
Hey, Jeremiah. Yeah, I was just getting the insurance. Okay, now are you going to submit to a preliminary breath test? It can't use it against you in court. It's just another toll, huh?
No, if I say no, it's a year, like instantly.
No, not on this one.
No.
Okay.
I mean, if you gotta be honest, if it was a year, if I'm gonna say no,
No, this
Because
one's
I
not.
passed
This
my
one's
sobriety
this one's your choice.
Did I pass my sobriety
No.
test? No. How?
You didn't.
No, I need a reason why.
Jeremiah, can you come here for a second? I need you to go inside and ask them if they're okay with the car staying here, or if they want it towed. So I'll wait on you. Just make it quick. So how much have you drank though?
He really hasn't. I
I've
let
been
him
trying to
drive
be
me
like-
because he is
Yes.
not drinking.
I've only drank a few beers, dude. I'm the one
Like
that
a
drives.
coffee.
How long ago?
A long time ago,
We've
like
been
4
at the
hours
bar
ago.
for a while now.
We didn't ask you, Karen.
Like I said, it's your choice whether you take the PBT or not.
If I don't take the PBT, will it go against me in court? Will I go to
No,
jail?
I can't use the PBT against you in court. I cannot use those results against you in court.
No, it's
So if I say no, you can't do it anyways.
Yeah, no, I can't. Not
But
the,
I
not.
take you
I
to
don't want to
jail
do this
anyway,
because
so
I've been so
it's
much,
just-
dude.
it is what it is.
This is the point where I'm like, you get where a part, you know where, I know this is recorded and whatever, but you don't want your dirty laundry aired, not in some way, but you understand where I'm coming from. Somebody doesn't want to make you do something like, you don't want to do it. Like, I have problems with you. I'm dealing with my own issues.
Like, I asked him to take me up here because he was the one that was sober.
Okay.
I get stopped.
I
in the
swear.
middle of fucking
I swear.
Okay. This
I
isn't
know,
Butler
I
County.
know you're not Butler County, but you're at. I explain this in some way that you can be understanding. I know you're not. I know you're a cop, but I also know you're at some point a friend at some point.
Right.
There's gotta be an
Maybe.
understanding somewhere.
Really?
I deal with enough. I've been dealing with it. I've been trying to do good. Like, I don't do anything. I go home and go to sleep.
Okay.
I'm trying to just go and go to sleep, go home, whatever I'm supposed to do. I haven't done anything. I get that she came in the bar,
What's up, Blake? How are you?
I'd ask the same thing with Brandon, the friend. She's at some point that I had not done anything wrong. I closed
We
the
can have
gas
somebody
station.
come get us
I haven't
and
done-
we
I
can
can't.
be
Like,
done.
I can't
Why?
because he's already drove. I've watched you guys pull up.
But
But what did
how
he
did I
do? He
fail?
parked.
How did I fail the how did I fail the sobriety test? What did I do?
understand. What did you do?
I can ask that question, Blake.
Okay.
I live with an officer.
They're going to jail. Turn around.
How I failed a
Back.
sobriety
Chance on your
test.
back. You're under arrest for interference.
You're doing okay till you open your
Get
mouth.
back before you go. I don't care who you are. Turn around. I don't care who you are, if you're the judge's assistant or not, Missy. You will go. Turn around. Put him in custody. He's going to jail.
Am I detained?
Yeah. Turn around. Turn around.
Blake, I'm sorry, I didn't
Turn
know.
around.
You have to tell me what I'm.
Turn around now.
What am I?
Turn
detained for?
around.
What-
Turn around.
What am I? detained
Turn
for?
around.
Stopping there. Deputy, there was lots of noise in the background of someone, and it's hard to make out what they're saying. Who is the person in the background yelling and making all the noise?
Cooper.
And was Andrews trying to
Oh, it's starting to get real. It's starting to get real here. Is this our auditor right here?
deal with Cooper?
He was.
And was he the one standing behind you?
He was.
And was it making it, tell us how it was impeding you that he was behind you?
Well, I couldn't see him, number one. So he was out of my peripheral vision. That's an officer safety issue. So Deputy Andrews went over to deal with him. And then he started yelling, acting irate, which concerned me, and interfering with the stop. So that's why.
Which is number one, wrong.
Okay. After you had been making the arrest to take them in, what did you find out further about Cooper's actions that night?
The detention staff had told me after Cooper had been taken.
Objection, Your Honor. Relevance. It's outside the scope of the motion to suppress since it's post arrest.
It's it's relevant that he went to the sheriff's office, found out that Marcotte wasn't at the sheriff's office, and then went to the actual scene. He could have stayed at the sheriff's office to help bond him or do anything at the jail, but he actually went to the scene to start yelling and
Yeah, that red dot suggestive of the fact that he might get tased, huh?
be behind the officer. That shows a clear overt act from going from the sheriff's office to the scene.
Respectfully, Your Honor, if I may, I guess my objection would be hearsay unless Deputy Fisher was the one who dealt with the defendant at allegedly the police department or sheriff's office.
Well, I will sustain as to hearsay.
Deputy Fisher, were you able to review the defendant then on the jail lobby cameras?
I don't recall if I did or not.
Okay. But you did find out he had been at the sheriff's office.
Correct.
All right. And then he came to your stop after having been at the sheriff's office.
Okay, I will post the number one wrong video in the community tab. People ask about it constantly. I don't know, it was a month or two ago that I did it. It says number one wrong in the thumbnail if you're looking for it.
To my knowledge, he came directly to my stop.
Okay. And he was the voice that we could hear.
Correct.
All right. And were there several other people that had showed up to the scene?
Correct.
Okay. And did you take everyone that showed up into custody?
No.
And did you make a discretionary call as to whether they impeded you or were causing problems?
Correct.
And at the end of the
That is also a good idea. I cannot find the Oh Sweet Jesus clip. I remember doing it and I remember the context, but I cannot find the clip. I don't know where it is.
stop, did you how many people did you actually take into custody?
3.
And who were the individuals you ended up taking into custody?
Matthew Marcotte, Kelly Kirkpatrick, and Chad Cooper.
And did you take anyone that just stopped by briefly into custody?
I did not.
If they stayed away from the stop and didn't interfere, did you take them into custody?
I did not.
If they were a present danger to you, did that make an impact on your decision?
It did.
And what were the totality of the circumstances that made you take Mr. Cooper into custody?
His belligerent behavior and drawing my attention away from Marcotte.
Okay. And then did he willingly go into custody?
He did not.
Did you end up tasing him?
I did.
Your Honor, I will pass this witness.
This examination, Mr. Miller?
Your Honor,
I tased him and I'm not going to apologize for it.
before I begin on that, I didn't want to interrupt Ms. Gillette, but I don't know that we got the ending timestamp for the video that was presented.
Let me look that up and I'll give you the ending timestamp.
I'm happy to proceed with my examination, Your Honor, if we want to wait for that.
All right, please proceed.
Yes, Your Honor. Good morning, Deputy.
Good morning.
Now, you were here in court when your body camera recording was presented, correct?
I was.
And would it be fair to say that the depiction that we all just viewed was a full and fair depiction of what you would allege to be Mr. Cooper interfering with your investigation?
To my knowledge, it hasn't been altered.
And I'm not asking about alteration. I'm asking if there's anything that happened that wasn't clearly depicted on your body cam there that you would consider part of Mr. Cooper interfering with your investigation.
No.
Is that a no?
Yes, no.
Thank you. Now, at the time that Mr. Cooper arrived on scene, you were there with another officer?
I was
Just one or multiple?
one.
Okay. And now, with respect to yourself, if you'll indulge me, would you say, if you recall, whether you're physically larger than the defendant, smaller than the defendant, or about equivalent?
I'm smaller. I'm only 5'4", $165.
And how about the other deputy?
I don't know. If I had to guess, I'd say he's probably 5'8", 140.
Okay. And so, with respect to defendant, would that be larger than defendant, smaller than defendant, physical statute?
If I had to guess, the defendant's probably 5'9", 5'10", probably 190, 200 pounds.
I'm going to object as to relevance. The relevance is whether or not he was interfering with the stop, not the size or anything that comes after the arrest.
If I may, Your Honor, this is a motion to suppress, not a motion to dismiss, and a component of our suppression argument is that the handling of defendant when he was pinned on the ground is relevant to whether the general reasonability principle of the Fourth Amendment was violated or not.
That's not the motion to suppress, because that's not a suppressible issue. Once he's been asked to be placed under arrest, he starts to interfere with the arrest and resist arrest. The actual reason for the arrest is the suppressible issue here. Anything else is a factual basis for a jury. And this is not part of what is reasonable as to the totality of the circumstances to the arrest. If they are alleging an illegal arrest and that the evidence needs to be suppressed pursuant to an illegal arrest, then the totality of the circumstances of a reasonable officer is what comes into play, and not any size difference. It's what the defendant's behavior was leading up until the decision of Officer Fisher to take him into arrest.
I'm going to overrule the objection. Please proceed, counsel.
Yes, Your Honor, thank you. Now, Deputy, so you indicated you tased the defendant?
I did.
One time or multiple times?
Multiple.
Okay. And would that have been 2 times?
Oh, probably 2 to 3.
Okay.
Okay, so folks, did I miss something? Did I miss this taser scene?
It was beginning just when the footage was cut off, I believe, Your Honor.
Okay, because when
The
I
first
saw
tape.
when I saw the tape cut off, he was being told put his hands behind his back.
I believe there were laser indicators on his chest from the taser.
I think the judge is speaking for us all here and saying we want to see the tasing. I mean, we're talking 2-3 tasings. He's having so much fun he can't keep count. And you know, really, we want to see them all.
At the time.
Okay, I saw the red lights. Maybe I just didn't know what that was. Okay, go ahead.
And so, Deputy, my question to you, though, apart from that first deployment of a taser, there was a point where a defendant was on the ground?
Yes.
And were you and another deputy on top of him?
Not directly on top of him, but we were trying to get his arms from underneath his stomach, and we were unable to do so.
Now that was not on the video, was it?
It is, Judge. They didn't play it.
Oh, okay. All right, go ahead.
Yes. And so, whether you were directly on top of defendant or not, would it be fair to say that both you and another deputy were above defendant who was on the ground and restraining him to take him? Okay. Thank you. Now, let's take a step back if that's okay. The location of this incident, it was the parking lot of a public gas station, correct?
It was.
Okay. And so, while I understand, the allegations that we're dealing with today, just the mere presence of Mr. Cooper, would that have been illegal in that public parking lot?
The mere presence, no. I would have had no issues if he would have just walked up, stood away, kept to himself, or even entered into the store. But the fact that he didn't, he went behind me and was making comments while I was conducting an investigation. That was my issue.
Now, I believe in your direct examination, you testified that Mr. Cooper passed between 2 and 3 feet behind you.
Approximately.
Okay. And is that what you consider to be the basis for his interference?
No, the basis of the interference is him standing behind me making comments, and he was acting in an agitated manner, which was offsetting to me.
And so at that time, when that was happening, was he 2 to 3 feet away from you, or was he further?
I can't give you an exact because he was standing behind me. I didn't know how far behind me he was.
Okay. But there was another officer on the scene at that time as well, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Now, I believe that, okay. Now, your testimony was that Mr. Cooper was recording you, you believed?
I believed he was. He had his phone held up as he walked up to the stop, as if he was recording me.
Okay. And so just with respect to that act of recording you, was that something that interfered with your investigation?
I had no problems with that.
Okay. And now, I understand that he was also saying some things.
Correct.
And so, were the words that he was speaking, were those interfering with your investigation?
Not the words themselves, but him interrupting me as I'm conducting an investigation. That's what was my baseline.
Okay. And so that would have been clearly depicted, his verbalizations interfering with your investigation on the body cam we just saw, correct?
You wouldn't be able to physically see it, but you should be able to hear it, yes.
Excuse me, yes, hear it. Thank you. Now, there was a female passenger that was also on the scene, correct? Things pre-arrest, Mr. Cooper did interference, but also that what he does claim is interference didn't even affect his ability to complete the DUI investigation, didn't affect his ability to pursue charges. And Your Honor would also, I would hope, remember the extensive amount of time that we all sat here watching a body camera recording where Deputy Fisher completed the majority of his investigation. He was down to the very last part. I mean, if you had someone bothering you, perhaps while you were trying to conduct field sobriety tests, giving people instructions, that would be one thing. But he had already had initial contact with the driver of the vehicle. They had already gone through field sobriety tests, and he was simply at the point of asking the driver whether the driver would submit to a preliminary breath test. And as Your Honor may recall, from the driver's statements himself, it wasn't that, he was not readily agreeable with that. And there's no evidence furthermore to say that Mr. Cooper, Mr. Cooper may have been asking, according to the testimony, whether the individual blew over the limit, but there's no testimony that Mr. Cooper was in any way trying to dissuade the driver of the vehicle from submitting to a preliminary breath test. And so that's the only other sense in which I could see interference in this case. And so, Your Honor, there are a lot of things, and I don't mean to take up the court's time excessively, but we did cite the precedent as far as the right to record, and deputy's testimony is that it wasn't an interference to the recording anyway. Now, the last part, so we contend that the arrest was illegal, that there was no interference going on, and the fact that the deputies trying to arrest Mr. Cooper can't ex post facto justify that arrest. The reason why the tasing and the weights and everything is relevant in this circumstance, we would submit to the court, is that apart from the particular prescriptions in the case law, there is a general fundamental reasonableness requirement in the Fourth Amendment. And when the deputies are in the process of effectuating an arrest, that is not post-arrest. The arrest has not happened. So it is relevant because my client was tased multiple times, at least once, when he was functionally pinned on the ground by multiple deputies. And so, Your Honor, we would submit to the court that while the illegality of the arrest itself should be sufficient to suppress any evidence following the arrest, secondarily, the fact that my client was successfully tased and the effectuation of that illegal arrest is a further grounds in which not only to find that the Fourth Amendment was violated, but order the suppression under the exclusionary rule of any evidence post-arrest. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Miller. As far as the defendant resisting his own arrest, he was told multiple times to put his hands behind his back, and he just ignored the officers. The Deputy Fisher had to raise his voice. He still wouldn't cooperate, and then we had the taser incident. But leading up to whether or not it was a legal arrest, whether the defendant was interfering with the investigation, it would appear from my observations that that was his whole reason for going to the stop, was to get into the middle of it, asking, what'd you blow? And yelling out to both the officer and the defendant, not listening to instructions to back away. He was not there just to record. He was there to be in the middle of things. And he got himself in the situation to the point that he was distracting the officer. The officer had to respond and deal with him. He had to make sure that he was safe. And so I feel, and I find that this was a legal arrest, and I do find against the defendant. I overrule the motion to suppress at this time. Now, do we have a trial setting in this matter?
I don't believe that we do, Your Honor. We were just set for suppression today. Believe we need to establish either a further control pretrial conference and jury trial.
All right, Mr. Miller, how do you wish to proceed then? Do you want to go to a jury trial setting? Do you want to go to a bench trial setting or status conference for you to discuss further with Ms. Gillette?
Your Honor, we would respectfully request prompt jury trial setting.
Prompt jury trial. Our next jury trial setting is October 2nd and 3rd. Pre-trial is, I believe, September 30th. So that will be the order. October 2nd and 3rd jury trial. That's live at the courthouse. The pre-trial, though, on Monday, September 30th, will still be by Zoom. So Mr. Miller and Mr. Cooper do not have to be here personally on Monday, but you definitely do, Mr. Cooper, have to be here in person for trial. Now, that's a docket setting, so there'll be others to sort through and determine the order. Anything else?
I can't anything else matter, Your Honor.
Not at this time, Your Honor. Thank you.
You're welcome. Very well, then. We will continue the bond, Mr. Cooper, that you're on, the $10,000 bond posted by Hot Rod Bail Bonds on December 23rd,
Hot Rod Bail Bonds
2023, with all conditions on that bond.
for all your
And now
bonding
the
needs.
added condition that you next appear September 30th, 9 a.m. by Zoom for your pre-trial, and then, if necessary, live in person for your October 2nd and 3rd jury trial setting.
Understood, Your Honor. Thank you.
Do it.
You're welcome. Nothing further. This hearing will be adjourned, and you all are excused.
Come up, Miss Yang.
But wait, there's more. Yes, I had him on the intro, but that is Judge Fleischer in a full Pac-Man suit. I saw him get up. It's a Pac-Man coat with Pac-Man pants and a Pac-Man tie. All of it. Top to bottom, no kidding. And we've got a grandma who's doing naughty things in here. Let's do it.
Good morning, Miss Yang.
杨女士你好
你好，谢谢你帮我翻译。
，Thank you for the
你好
translation。
Of course. You were
没问题。
you were charged with prostitution.
你被起诉卖淫，
You were facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine.
那你准备呢是有6个月的入监狱，然后2000块钱的罚款。
那个，
You're going to do probable cause.
那我们也会帮你做预庭。
You have the right to remain silent. Anything you
yes.
say.
你有权，你有权利保持沉默，
Anything you say can or will be used against you.
因为你所说的所有东西都可能最后是用来上庭使用的。
Speak up. Please go slow.
On September 12th, 2024,
9月12号，2024年，
This is so awkward.
a law enforcement officer conducted
警察呢进行了
an undercover vice investigation
Uh-huh.
这种就是便衣方式的一个调查。
That's what they said at least when their supervisor found out about it.
at 12989 Bel Air Boulevard in Harris County, Texas.
在12989百利
That's what I thought, but no. That's what I thought, but no.
县。
The officers conducted an investigation
之后，警察进行了一个这个调查，
regarding an anonymous complaint that prostitution was happening at the location.
因为当时候有一个匿名的通知告诉我们，那边正在有卖淫的服务。
I'm shocked. Shocked, I tell you. Who would have suspected such a thing? Except any reasonable person with a brain.
The officers entered the business and were greeted by the defendant.
当时候警察进到这个地方的时候，
This is so
是
cringe.
由被告来。
This is so cringe. We know, like, you have to do it. It has to go on the record. But here we are going to go slowly through the procedure. We all know what the procedure is. But we have to do it excruciatingly slow with a Chinese translator. You have to. There's no other way to do it. But it's just punishing.
欢迎他进去的。
And were escorted to a secluded room where the defendant said the massage fee was $60.
那个当时候，这个被告就把警察带到一个小小的一个房间，然后告诉他，按摩的服务是60块钱。
The officer was disrobed and laid face down on the table.
当时候警察就换了衣服，转身过来，然后呢躺在那个房间的床上面。
And the defendant began to give a massage.
当时候被告就开始提供按摩。
Defendant told the officer to turn over.
Mm-hmm.
然后被告告诉这个警察，叫他转身过来。
And poked the officer's covered genitals.
Look at Fleischer just taking all this in his full Pac-Man suit. I love this court. I love it.
With her right hand.
然后当时候被告就用右手去指那个警察的这个私人的部分，被毛巾包着私人部分，他用手去擦那个地方。
Defendant balled up her fist and began shaking her fist back and forth.
然后当时候被告呢就握起了拳头，然后一起来来回回的动。
Asking if the officer wanted a hand job.
就问警察，你要不要我给你做手淫？
The law enforcement officer motioned using a sign for oral sex.
当时候这个警察就已经用手这个动作说不需要有性的服务。
And the defendant pointed at her mouth and nodded her head yes.
然后这个警察的被告人呢就挤着自己的嘴巴，然后示意可以提供性服务。
The officer motioned to the defendant and asked how much.
当时候警察就示意问被告要多少钱。
And the defendant whispered in the officer's ear $130.
那个被告呢就在警察的耳边轻轻的告诉他130块。
The officer and the defendant agreed on the price.
那警察呢就跟这个被告呢一起同意了这个。
Oh, sweet Jesus! What?
Arrest team a signal.
这样的话，当时候警察就给剩下的整个警察团队呢给了他们一点信号。
Defendant was identified with her California driver's license.
那个当时候被告呢就出示了他加州的一个驾驶证。
Okay. Miss Yang, I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward with your case.
杨女士，我们就是会起诉这个方面。
I'm ordering you as a condition of your bond.
那我现在可以给你一个这是有条件的这个保释。
Not to engage in this type of behavior again.
而且不再参与任何这种行为。
Do you understand?
你明白吗？
This is the same call where he you know, in my intro where he ordered a guy to keep it in his pants. Different defendant.
不去了，我不去了
啊！
我不去那边了，我不去他那里了。
I will no longer go to that store.
我去了。
I won't go anymore.
All we are asking you to do is not engage in this type of behavior again.
现在再重申一遍，告诉你，你不能够再参与类似这样的行为的活动。
对不起。
Do you understand?
你明不明白我说什么？
明白，不。
I understand. I will not.
Tell me, do you have a lawyer?
你有没有律师？
没有，我请不起，我
I don't.
我没有钱请他们了。
I don't and I cannot afford.
I was going to offer you one today. If you want one, I can provide you a lawyer.
如果你希望有律师的话，我可以给你提供一个。
你们给我提供律师呗？是你们给我提供律师哈。
So you're going to provide me an attorney, right? A lawyer.
Correct. Yes.
是的。
可以。谢谢。谢谢。
Thank you. Thank you.
For now, well, I don't know where Victoria is. For now, I'm going to have you take a seat in the jury box.
那我要求你先坐这个陪审团的那个框框里边。
我没听懂这句话，没听清。
I don't understand what is it.
Give me 1 second. Hold on. Let me get Victoria.
请稍等。
No boom boom in the jury box. Okay? I do feel bad for her. In all probability, this is the way she's made a living her entire life, and it's got to be rough enough. But that's the law in this country.
我就再也不做按摩了，不坐牢行不行啊？
So, Judge, am I going to be? 现在法官没有在场。
Ma'am, if you could please tell her that before she leaves, she will need to sign bond conditions, okay?
你一会离开之前，你先要签字，他们会给你这个，就是你可以申请先出去的一些条件，先签名。
那你麻烦你和他说一下，我再也不做按摩了，完事儿那个别让我坐牢行不行啊？
So, Judge, I will no longer want it to be to do the massage job. Will you waive that? Not putting me in jail?
再也不做按摩了。
Don't worry, we will.
Judge, I've decided we're going to skip the massage and go straight to the happy ending. It's a little faster that way.
I don't want to be in jail. 没关系，你先不要担心这个，我们会照顾好你的，好吗？
For now, we will have you sign a reset, and then we will have you take a seat in the jury box.
麻烦你先签名，然后呢，他们会带你到一个地方先坐下来，好吗？
好，谢谢。
Okay, thank you.
Please, ma'am.
State bond conditions are your
Yeah, they're ready?
Go ahead and sign. Judge, that's state's bond conditions?
Yeah, it's state. And then if you can reach out to the Mac for her, please.
Right, thank you.
Do you have conditions on her?
No, for Matthew.
Oh, for Matthew.
Yes, sir, Matthew Martin.
Got it.
Oh, you guys are fast.
But wait, there's more. This clip makes everything else look reasonable.
We have an emergency, I don't know an emergency, but a bench warrant arraignment that I need to cover. Judge Pattison is in a domestic relations trial. Looks like it's going to take all afternoon. So he texted me and asked me if I could cover this. So we'll cover it. Mr. Stickley, the chief public defender, is about to join us. So you never know what happens late on a Friday afternoon. It's about to rain here for the first time in about 30 days. Everything is dry as a bone. It's very dark, very humid, and it's thunder in the background. So hopefully we'll get some rain. Except it's going to rain on everybody at the fair. All right, we'll get right back to work here. As I said, you never know what happens late on a Friday. Often right at the last minute. We're open till 5 o'clock, not 4:59 or 4:55. We're here till 5 o'clock.
Oh, wait for it.
Everything is so dry.
This goes so sideways.
Timing could be better, but all right, let's see what we got here. I'm trying to even figure out what the deal is. Good afternoon, Mr. Brown.
Hi, Hilton. How are you?
I'm good. I'll be with you in just a minute.
That's right there is pretty much all you need to know how this, to figure out how this appearance is going to go. I think that introduction says it all.
Thank you.
All right, let's call the case. This is file number 23106SM. People versus Aaron Lewis Brown. And I've known Mr. Brown since he was in about 8th grade. The file number is 22. This means this happened in 2022. Joining us here, Mr. Brown, is Mr. Keith Stickley. He's the Chief Public Defender for St. Joseph County. I saw this morning when I got in and looked at the jail roster that you had been picked up last night. And your lawyer is Luke Knopfsinger. And he was here this morning, but apparently the right hand didn't know what the left hand was doing. They could have dealt with this morning, but they didn't. The matter is assigned to Judge Pattison. He's the one that issued the bench warrant for your arrest. And he is caught up in a difficult domestic relations trial, so he asked me to address this. So let's start at square one here. You were charged back in 2022 with a domestic assault on your mother, Anita Green. And that warrant was issued in 2022. You got arrested, you posted a bond. Attorney Knopfsinger was appointed to represent you. They had a pretrial, you continued your plea of not guilty, and they set a final pretrial before jury, which was set for January 19th of 2023. You failed to appear and Judge Pattison issued a bench warrant for your arrest. And as I indicated, your lawyer, Luke, was here this morning, and even I dealt with him this morning. If I'd known about it, I could have, I guess, addressed it. Anyway, I knew this warrant was out there. Last year, I had downloaded every unserved domestic violence warrant, and there were a lot of them. Many of them have been either dismissed or finally served. I guess the question I want to ask right now is, how did you get arrested last night?
Okay, first of all, that wasn't my mother. That was, her name is Anita Green, with those allegations that I allegedly struck her. My mother
is that your aunt?
She's my mother's twin sister, but my mother Elisa passed away.
All right, I went to your mother's funeral.
Yes, Elisa's my mother.
So, all right, I'm sorry. So this is your aunt Anita. All right, I got it backwards.
Unfortunately.
All right, so the complainant is your aunt. All right, so let's not get into the facts so much, but you didn't show up back in January of 23, and Judge Pattison issued the bench warrant. So he set the bond at $2,000 cash or surety. How did you get arrested last night?
So I was up in Mel Trotter. I got date raped before I came back up to Michigan, and that's when all that happened at Anita's house. So I ended up going up to Mel Trotter Ministry back in January, it was February 1st. So before that, I went to my court date, met with Luke in November of 2022. It was either right before Thanksgiving or right after Thanksgiving. And when I talked to him, I said, when is my next court date? He said, I don't have one for you. He's in his exact words that I do not have one for you, but I will be in contact with you at some point. I said, okay. I still have an address down in Florida, and I do travel quite a bit. And so do you have like a specific
the address they had listed is 314 West Broadway, and that's your aunt's house, correct?
Correct. That's not my address.
All right. Well, let's go back to my original question. How'd you get arrested last night?
Okay, so I got arrested Tuesday in Grand Rapids.
All right. You're missing art prize.
The what?
You're missing art prize.
What's art prize?
Oh, it's that big art festival they have in Grand Rapids every other year.
I'm an artist. I would love to go to something like that, but since this is taking up my time with false
All right, well,
allegations,
I'm still trying to figure this out. So were you at Mel Trotter in Grand Rapids this week?
yes, I've been staying up at Mel Trotter trying to get out of Michigan for the last year and a half. And due to some manipulation and human trafficking and some other stuff, I went to go fill out a police report that has been basically some people raped me back in when I was in high school. And so nothing has been done about that. There's been decapitated heads that were in me and my mom's houses. People cut these people's heads off. They put them in our houses, and we tried filling out a police report and stuff like that. Members of Palco, which is a fabrication company, they're like chopping up bodies and everything. It's all, I know the people who did it. So your question is, how did I get arrested? I go to One Monroe Center on Tuesday morning to fill out a police report, and they said I had a warrant for my arrest for missing a court date. Mind you, a week ago, no, 2 weeks ago, I had some officers come in, Deputy Cedric Wyrick and his sister Katie Wyrick, which I know very well, they came and talked to me about just doing some counseling and stuff because I was poisoned. I was telling them what was going on in my life and that I need my inheritance that my mother left me. So they flat out told me, you do not have any warrants because there was some stuff that happened in Florida and in RJ's that I got arrested for no reason. And so I was under the impression I had 2 warrants for a false arrest. I can get into that if you would like me to after I get done with this. Just let me talk for just a second.
Aaron, I'm just trying to figure out what to do bond-wise. Unfortunately, they didn't address this morning when your lawyer was here. So Mr. Stickley is the chief public defender. He doesn't know any of the details of the case. He's just to make sure that your rights are protected here at this hearing. So your residence is presently Mel Trotter Ministries?
I was staying up there so I can get back down to Florida, but my current address is 16522 Brigadoon Drive down in Tampa, Florida. I came up here because I had to get my inheritance, and I'm looking for my money that my mother left me, which is probably $12 billion. And so
I know your mom. She wasn't that rich.
Wealthy. We don't like saying rich, but wealthy.
All right, Aaron, are you getting any mental health treatment? Are you seeing anybody at CMA at Kent County?
Okay, maybe we need an evaluation.
Yes, I went to go see not Azariah, Uriah. We had a counseling meeting 2 different times. I went and seen Godfrey up at Mount Charter Ministry 2 different times, and they passed me and said I was good to go.
Are you on any medication?
No, just water.
All right, well, we need to get this case back on track. Right now, you're living in a ministry shelter kind of place. Mel Trotter's been around for years and years. Your address is Tampa. I'm going to reset this, the final pretrial, for next Thursday, which would be September.
Is she, because it was on video that she straight up said, I lied on this police report. So I don't know if they had it.
I don't know any of that stuff, Mr. Brown. I know your aunts, I know your brothers, I know your cousins, your grandma, your grandpa. But you're not in the greatest of shape right now. I'm going to reset this for next Thursday at 1 o'clock with attorney Luke Knopfsinger. And I'm going to leave the bond as Judge Pattison said it. $2,000 cash or surety. Are you in contact with any of your family down here?
My grandmother, I have to take care of my grandmother. So I came back up here to take care of her and get her out of this disastrous living situation that she doesn't like and I don't either.
Well, then set it in front of me at 2 o'clock. Judge Pattison won't be here next week, and I don't want you to sit here for 2 weeks till we resolve this. I'll set it in front of me.
Go over to Keystone.
Well, Aaron, Mr. Brown, I'm not comfortable with you just being homeless out here in the county. I'm setting this as soon as I can, which is next Thursday. Oh, here's Luke right now.
Judge, I was in the.
Bless you.
I heard this, yeah, so I get the sense you want to set it for sometime next week.
Yes, go ahead. Aaron, your attorney, Mr. Knopfinger, just came in to join us. He heard this, he was in the building. And I'll
Keith
set
is having a
this
good time
as
with
soon
this.
as he's available, although we have to consider the prosecutor too. Judge P is not available next week, Thursday, Friday. I don't remember what the deal is, but I can do it with Thursday final pretrials at 2.
Okay, and I can, if you take the case, I can make it work on Thursday, Friday. I also would have some time Wednesday morning too, so I could coordinate with Judge Pattison or.
Well, I don't know when Judge Pattison's leaving, but we also the prosecutor's gotta give victim notice and I see your aunt around. I think she still works at CMH.
I do not talk to that woman at all. I have nothing to say about her. I don't talk to her. I have said my piece. I haven't talked to her since I left there in handcuffs and didn't want to stay there in the first place because that house needs to be condemned. The city needs to take it from them, I think. But I don't talk to that woman. I do not like her. I don't like her husband. I don't like her son.
All right, well, I'll leave it at that. Boy, I'm not good Wednesday, Luke. So let's just leave it now for Thursday at 2. I'm gonna ask Lisa Iantelli, who's our mental health liaison, to meet with you, Aaron, see what the deal is and see if you need some further treatment or some medication or what. The prosecutor needs to get time to get a hold of your aunt and see what her position is on this. Maybe they just want the whole thing to be over with. But for now, I'm going to leave you right where you are. Come on in. Mr. Knopfinger is going to be available then, and I will see if I can get someone from mental health to talk with you.
Okay, I really just need my finances because I have my eyes on a $13.1 million house that my mother is trying to gift me with what she left me with my grandfather, my inheritance, my trust fund, and somehow it's nowhere to be found from after it was placed in Greenleaf. So that really upsets me.
Well, I imagine so. Where is this house?
Lake Tahoe, Tahoe City, California.
Well, okay. I don't think we have a house in St. Joe County that's worth $13.1 million. All right, Mr. Brown.
What are they doing,
I'm going to
Tahoe?
ask Lisa from mental health to come meet with you. And I would rather I didn't have this case since I know everybody, but I know everybody anyway, so I don't know what the difference is. So I'll be seeing you next week, okay?
Okay.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Stickley.
Sure. Tell the family I said hi.
Okay.
Ah, there you have it. There you have it. That was quite the Friday happy hour. I apologize. I ended up having an Uber Eats issue at the end, but it's okay. That clip needed no babysitting. It was fantastic all on its own. I don't know. What you guys like best? Fleischer in a Pac-Man suit with Naughty Grandma? A DUI audit at Pumpin' Pete's? Or this billionaire in 3B? Some quality material today. All right. Behave yourselves. You know I'm not bailing you out. I'll see y'all soon.